Hello, our dear elephant lovers. Welcome back to another heartwarming and challenging treatment mission carried out to treat a huge elephant. This gentle giant has fallen victim to human cruelty. A wildlife photographer, wandering in the forest in search of the beauty and majesty of an elephant herd, was shocked by a heartbreaking sight. He was deeply touched by the animal's wounds and soon contacted the nearest wildlife conservation office to ensure that the injured elephant received immediate medical attention. According to his explanation, there were many visible wounds around the elephant's leg, and he had been a member of a huge elephant herd. Knowing the urgent need for help, the wildlife conservation officials arrived at the location with the veterinary doctor and the other veterinary officials as soon as possible, with the necessary tools and medical supplies. This huge male elephant was a member of a huge herd with over 300 elephants. Their expert eyes immediately recognized that this was the result of some severe gunshots. As you already know, handling such a large and aggressive elephant without sedation can be extremely difficult and dangerous. So, the doctor chooses to sedate the animal with the necessary dosage of anesthetic drugs. As you can see, sedating the elephant is not a simple task. As a member of a big herd, the injured giant is defended by its colleagues. When officials approached for a closer look, one of the elephants grew violent and started chasing the official, determined to protect its injured family member. As soon as the dart was struck in the elephant, it rushed into the deep forest in fear and pain. It has walked miles into the deep forest. However, these determined officials managed to find the sedated elephant standing alone. This elephant has long been admired and respected, representing strength and grandeur in the wild. However, it has also been known for its aggressive behavior, which is why a tracking collar was placed around its neck to help conservation officers monitor its movements more easily, to protect both its safety and the safety of those living nearby. Upon closer monitoring, the veterinary doctor confirmed that the elephant had been injured by a few gunshots around its body, resulting in boils. The elephant is fully sedated after around 15 to 20 minutes. Another mild dose of an anesthetic drug was injected by the doctor. It is very important to sedate the elephant completely, because any movement or reaction of this elephant could lead to a huge disaster. Now the elephant's legs are tied using a rope. This is also a safety measure carried out to make sure the elephant stays calm and steady throughout the treatment process. Now this could lead us to an important educational question. How can they confirm that this elephant is fully sedated before the treatment begins? There are a few obvious symptoms and side effects to look for. The penis erection and the elephant may pass urine. The head bends forward while the trunk reaches the ground. The elephant remains motionless with flapping ears. This treatment mission is shared with you purely for educational, entertainment, and awareness purposes to help shed light on wildlife rescue efforts, veterinary care, and the compassion shown towards suffering wild animals in need. Let's get back to the treatment process. Then the officials took steps to inject the necessary dosages of antibiotics, multivitamins, painkillers, and anti-inflammatory drugs intramuscularly. These dosages are decided by the veterinary doctor based on the body weight, the health condition, and the strength level of the animal. That leads us to another question. Why are these poor animals injured? This is a common question among many. Actually, these are the terrible results of human carelessness and selfishness. Human-elephant conflict around limited resources usually acts as the main cause of these kinds of situations, as elephants may appear on agricultural grounds in quest of food, resulting in severe crop damage and economic loss for poor villagers who have worked tirelessly, day and night, to harvest their crops. So, in some cases, farmers may be tempted to use illegal homemade firearms in order to safeguard their sources of income. However, this method not only harms elephants, but also worsens human-wildlife conflict. The shooting of an elephant could result in serious harm or death. These are illegal acts that could put the entire animal population at risk. That is why the government has established rules to protect these species, and wildlife conservation officials conduct awareness campaigns throughout the area to educate locals about the negative consequences of these inhumane acts. There are extensive investigations undertaken to identify any offenders who commit such dangerous actions. They will be punished in accordance with the law. Moving back to the treatment process, it is time to treat the elephant's wounds. As the first step, the wound was cleaned using saline solution and cotton wool. Then, a disinfectant solution is used to clean the wound. A syringe was used to inject it. The officer used forceps and cotton wool to clean the wounded area more deeply. The primary objective of the technique is to clean the wound and remove any pus, necrotic tissue, or bullet particles lodged within the injured area. This process is really challenging because of the huge size, the aggressive behaviors, and the limited facilities available in the forest. However, these skilled officials are kind and patient enough to treat these wild animals. Then, a syringe is used to inject a solution of povidone iodine and negasant powder into the wound. Tiny bullet particles were removed from the wound. The official applied more negasant powder onto the treated wound. These poor animals undergo excruciating pain, even though they are unable to express their emotions verbally. Their aggressive behavior, body language, and daily movements clearly indicate that they are suffering. In many cases, these enormous beings end up in the forest with bullet wounds that cause them tremendous pain. Gunshot wounds can grow and get deeply infected over time, causing massive abscesses. However, this lucky being was noticed at the correct time, so we could cure him with the proper medication. As the final step, the anti-fly spray is sprayed on the treated wound and the injection sites. Now that the treatment process is completed, the revival drug was administered through a major vein in the elephant's tail. Thank you for sticking till the end. We thank all of our viewers, the veterinary doctor, veterinary officials, wildlife conservation officials, the photographer who informed us about the incidents, and all the others who were involved.